Here's what I consider the 4 most important plugins that you can have on your WordPress website. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress videos for non-techies, and I upload these daily. So if you enjoy the content in this video, I would encourage you to click on the subscribe button down below. Now, I get asked this question. I've actually had this as a request to make a video like this. Now, all the plugins I'm going to talk about in this video are free. Some might have a paid version. If there is, I will tell you about that, just so you know. But I am talking about the free versions of all of these softwares. And these are the plugins I consider every WordPress website really needs to have installed. So let's get started. So obviously you could do these searches inside your WordPress website and install them directly by going to plugins, add new, and doing the same search. So the first thing you need is a security plugin, and this is because there are people that want to hack into your website for whatever purpose. It's there, it's out there. There's nothing you could do to stop it. There are things you could do to protect you if this is happening to you. Now, I'm going to share with you the plugin that I like for this and why. Now, when you do a search for security, you're going to see several options here. Now, if I'm saying I use a particular one, that doesn't mean the other ones are bad. So let me just get that out there right now. So the number one plugin for security is WordFence Security, and I've used it. I'm not really a fan, and that's because, and I really should be fair though and say I would have to try it today, but before, when I would use it, the default installation of it enables certain things that slows down the performance of your website. And these are, I believe it's called Live View, unless they changed what it's called. It's called Live View. And I didn't like this. It made the size of my database much larger and it slowed it down. And the problem I have is not with this feature, it's that this feature was enabled by default. Now, the average WordPress user is not going to realize that, and they're going to have a slower website and a bigger database. Now, I don't know if that's the case today, but that was always my experience. And there's this other one here, all-in-one WP Security. I have not used that. What I use is iThemes Security, and it's probably the only product that I like from iThemes. It actually wasn't originally theirs. They acquired it. It used to be called Better WP Security. Now, what I like about this is it's very simple to configure. It's very comprehensive. They also have a paid version, but in my experience, I have the paid version, but I don't use any of the features that are exclusive to the paid version. So this is one of those ones where the free version is perfectly fine. The paid one offers like 2-factor authentication and some things like that that I don't think are necessary. One of the things the paid version does have that's nice is the ability to export and import settings. That's the only thing I really like from the paid version. The free version is perfectly fine. And what I really like about it, and I know WordFence does this as well, you can opt into a network of security. So what that does is if someone is trying to hack into your website, that information on that person, their IP address, gets put into a network. So if they go and try to hack into someone else's website, it will, and they're using the same IP address, they'll immediately be blocked. They won't even get to attempt it. So there's this community aspect about the plugin where if you're plugged in using this plugin and in the network, which is free, when someone tries to hack into my site, then they won't be able to hack into your site, etc., etc. Hacking is really, there's several different ways they try to do it, but usually it's this brute force attempts of trying to get in through the login page, and it will definitely prevent that. And it has all the settings you would need in order to have some pretty complete, comprehensive security coverage on your website. Now, I will be making a specific video on this plugin and its settings, so look out for that in the future. The next category of plugin is backup. You have to have a backup. Don't procrastinate, don't delay, and it needs to be off-site, away from your web hosting company, and you cannot trust your web hosting company to back up your website for you. Do not make that mistake. I have a video on the solution that I use, but for this video, I want you to know the one that I've been using is, actually, there's a new one, but traditionally it's been Updraft. Updrafts Plus right here. What's nice about this plugin is it has never let me down. I have put it through its paces, and just so you know, I have used every WordPress backup plugin there is. A lot of people might swear by this one or by this one, but they haven't really put it to the test. I have used them all, and I've put them all to the test, and the only one that has come out and covered my rear end is Updrafts Plus. It's the only one. Now, they also have a premium package that isn't necessary, but if you did want some feature that it gave you, you could use it. But the free version is perfectly fine. It'll allow you to back your website up offsite to one of the cloud hosting providers like Dropbox or Google Drive, and you'll be able to, it's actually a lot easier to do it to Dropbox, by the way. They make it easier. Google Drive does not make it easy, but you can back up offsite in a 100% free plugin. Now, there's other backup plugins. By far, listen to me, the best one is Updrafts, but there's a new one, and it's not even like on this page. I made a video about it about a month ago, and let me get to it. It's right here. It's called WP Time Capsule, and this does a different type of backup. Updrafts and every other backup solution makes a full backup. Every file, the database itself, everything, it just makes a full backup every single time. Now, if you have a small website that doesn't change often, this is going to be okay for you. But if you have a large website that has traffic on it, you're probably going to be better off with WP Time Capsule. And what this is going to allow you to do is make an incremental backup. Incremental means when it goes to make a backup, it sees only what has changed, and it only backs up what has changed. And so it's a much smarter way to back up your website. It's going to use a lot less resources on your web hosting account, and it's been good. I've been using it on my main website because I would get a couple complaints when I was using Updrafts, and if someone was on my website when it was making its backup, I would get some complaints. It wasn't often. It might have been once a month, but it would happen, and I would make my backup in the middle of the night for me, but the middle of the night for me might be the morning for you, and so there's no way to win, and that's why WP Time Capsule, I think, has been really good for me. So next, let's move on to SEO. You have to have an SEO plugin on your website if you want Google to send you traffic. And even if you don't, you need it as well, because there's certain bits of information you need to put into your website via an SEO plugin in order for your list, when your website is indexed on Google, for it to look right there. So you look professional and you look right. And there are several SEO plugins. By far, my favorite one that I've always used is Yoast SEO, and it's free. They also have a premium version. I don't use the premium version. It does add a couple of little features that are nice, but for 99.9% of the people, the free version is going to be perfectly fine. So the reason I personally choose to stick with Yoast is because Yoast is actually backed by a big company. They have staff. They have full-time developers. They're actively engaged in making Yoast better with each release. And I'm not saying they are the experts in SEO, but they do come across as experts in website SEO, and I really like what they're doing and the tools they're building. If I was to put my money on a horse, it would definitely be that horse. It wouldn't be the all-in-one SEO pack. I'm not saying you're going to have problems with all-in-one SEO if you are a fan or a current user of it, but I would go the Yoast route. And there's definitely more integration and support around Yoast. And what I mean is, with other things you're going to use on your website, they're more Yoast friendly than other plugins. Definitely love Yoast. And the fourth plugin is caching. You absolutely need a caching solution for your website. Caching is going to make your website run faster, which is going to make it rank better. And by the mere fact that it's going to rank better, and it's also going to keep your visitors on your website. Think about it. When you visit a website and it takes forever to load, are you really going to stay on that website? I know I'm not. I am out of there. I don't have the patience to wait 10 or 15 seconds for a website to load. I'll just go to the next one, and I'll get to the next one before yours even loads. Caching solves that problem. It's going to make your website load faster for your website visitors, and it's going to benefit you with your SEO rankings in Google. It's also going to reduce your bounce rate with Google. Now, there are a bunch of different caching solutions out there, and there are free ones and there's paid ones. Right now, I'm using a paid solution called WP Rocket. You could check that out if you chose to, but there's also excellent free options. And the one that really is getting the most traction these days and really is receiving all the praise and the users and the excitement is this one right here called Optimize. I don't even know. I can't even pronounce it right. They should probably work on that name. Optimize. I don't know. Fix me down below if you know how it's pronounced. Maybe spell it out phonetically in the comments area. Now, there's also one that you definitely want to stay away from in this category, and it's this WP or W3 Total Cache. Stay away from it. This thing has had problems. It has caused problems for people. It has been around for a long time. It's not really supported properly, and I just want you to not go there with this plugin. And one of the more popular ones is definitely WP Super Cache. I think that is controlled and maintained by the makers of WordPress themselves. And there's some other up-and-comers. Now, like I said, I trust my caching with WP Rocket, but this one right here is definitely the one that I want to make a video on, that I'm going to put on this channel, all the settings and how to do it properly. If I had to choose something free, this is the one that I would probably choose today. Now, with caching, it's definitely something you need to be careful with. If you have a dynamic areas of your website, here's what a dynamic area is: a shopping cart. If you have any kind of e-commerce shopping cart, things like that, those are dynamic areas that are changing user by user. So if one person's on your website and they have widget A in their shopping cart, and someone else is on your website and they have widget B on your shopping cart, you need a caching solution that is going to be aware of the most popular shopping carts and put exclusions in there so that those shopping carts are not cached. This is also the case for learning management systems. So if you've watched any of my videos on how to create an online course, I have a complete playlist on it. You will run into troubles with caching if your caching solution doesn't give you the option to exclude certain pages. So that is something to think about. Also with caching, if you make a change on a page and you're looking at your page and you're wondering why you don't see the change, it's usually because you have to flush the cache. So it's just something you're going to want to be familiar with and familiarize yourself with. You can get yourself into trouble by implementing caching. That's why I'll make a complete video on it. Just keep an eye on my channel. And I'm going to throw in a bonus thing right here, and that is Google Analytics. Guys, you want to know how much traffic you're getting on your website. You really do, and you want to get Google Analytics installed. Now, Google Analytics is really easy to add to your website. Google Analytics, you go there, you set up an account, you plug in your website address. They give you a little snippet of code that you could go and paste into the footer of your website. But unfortunately, not all themes provide a setting to put in these analytic tracking pixels in what Google Analytics are going to give you. So that is why there's specific plugins available to make the process a little easier and also add more trigger recording events. And so one of the top plugins is right here. It's called Google Analytics for WordPress by Monster Insights. It's actually just called Monster Insights. They have all those other words so that when someone's searching for the solution, it shows on WordPress. But it's just called Monster Insights. And this was recently taken over by the owner of WP Beginner. He took over this plugin project and they're building a business model around it. So if traffic or analytics matters to you, you probably want to go with them and their package. There are other analytics solutions here. This is one you're going to want to definitely check out and see which one best meets your needs. If you even want to do that, my theme that I use on my website has a section to paste in that Google Analytics code. That's working perfectly fine for me, and that's all I use. Not everything needs to be done through a plugin, but if you wanted it to be a little easier, you could definitely do it through a plugin. I would caution you against some of the tracking plugins for WordPress that save all that information to your WordPress database, one of those being SlimStat. There's a couple of them out there like that. They are kind of neat to have, but what it does is it makes your WordPress database larger over time, which could in turn slow down your website. So I would definitely caution you against it. Everyone uses Google Analytics. You should use Google Analytics, and there's lots of different ways to get that tracking code into your website. So I'm actually going to do a video in depth on the Google Analytics. Number one, getting it into your WordPress website, and then some of the cool things that you can do with Google Analytics to see where your traffic's coming from, how much traffic is coming, where in the world it's coming from, and all these demographics, how you can start tracking that stuff. And you really want to start doing that from day one. So anyways, these are my 4 top plugins that you need to have on every website. I threw in this Google Analytics bonus. Now, if you have anything to add to the conversation, and I'm sure you do, leave a comment down below. Let me know what plugin you think I might have missed that is crucial to you, or maybe list out the top 5 plugins that you use on every WordPress website. Hey, when you do that, it benefits everyone in this community here. We are here to help each other out, and I want to hear what you use and what you do with your WordPress website.